Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, Ben. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm getting kind of my feet back under me. I was off at Walt Disney World for a couple of weeks and, having fun trying to catch up on everything LP's been doing while I was vacationing.
So I got to ask, what part of the 50th stuff have you seen?
Oh, I was able to see a good portion of it. I got to see most. The thing that I lack is the beacons of magic, or
Mm.
is that what they're called? I only saw Spaceship Earth and kind of caught a glimpse of the castle, but I didn't make it over to Animal Kingdom or Tower.
I will say, if you're going to see one, see Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever peel me away from it. I want to sit there with a beer flight or a cider flight from the Epcot experience, which is conveniently located over at the Odyssey location, and then just go sit out there on one of the planter benches and enjoy the environment for a while because it's really beautiful.
I feel a little weird, but to me, that is my favorite part of the 50th, like, favorite thing they've done. I'm not talking about like the excitement or, whatever, but
I understand.
that is my favorite thing they have launched as part of the celebration.
I was surprised at how emotional the little tag that they put at the beginning and conclusion of the electrical water pageant made me. Because it's just so
Mm.
sweet. It's like just a nice little acknowledgement of the fan, kind of like, hey, welcome back. We're glad you're here. Enjoy this thing we know you love. So that made me happy. I liked it.
So, welcome to Inside LP. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world of Disney as our LP team, which we're running on a skeleton crew, but as they talk about what they're working on. So, we're going to start by bringing in our editorial director, Kyle Burbank,
Hello.
who early this morning posted the new trailer for, was it Home Sweet Home Alone?
Home Sweet Home Alone. Yeah, it's 1 month from release. It's kind of sneaking up on us. So 1 month from today is November 12th. It's the day that this movie will be released. It's also Disney Plus Day. So we'll have a lot of other stuff. Shang-Chi will be available on the platform along with some other things. But this trailer, I have to say, looks pretty fun. It's the first time we get to meet Max, who is the new Kevin for all intents and purposes. And we meet his family, and he gets left behind while his family goes to Tokyo. And then obviously there's a couple burglars, and he fights them off in ways we're familiar with. Now, I didn't ever see, I've seen the first two Home Alones, obviously, haven't seen the other ones. But to me, the first thing that struck me about this trailer was that that budget seemed like it was there. Like it felt like something you'd see in theaters. It even had like seeing the 20th Century Studios at the beginning felt right. Um, and I had a lot of fun with it. I like he has a British accent. That's cool. I like Pete Holmes in this role. He had a line that made me laugh out loud. And then there's also we knew that the guy who plays Buzz in the original movies was going to be in this. We didn't really know what role he was going to play, and we get a little hint at that in this trailer.
Interesting. And Rebecca's muted. Rebecca's muted because she muted herself. Okay.
I am muted. I'm muted because I was typing and I didn't want you guys to hear all the clicking. But no, I really enjoyed the nod to the previous storyline with the appearance there, and that jumped right out at me. I actually watched the trailer this morning with my son, who's 12 and a big fan of the classic. And he, when it was done, he said, "Oh, I'm excited," and then he followed it up with, "I hope they don't mess it up." So that was pretty funny. I was like, pretty much, I think that's how most fans feel, right? You're just like,
Yeah, what's interesting to me was like I think it's one of those franchises that have been kind of done over and over, whether Home Alone branded or not, right? But it's been a bit, and this one, like you can tell because they didn't just go with like a cheap little house. Actually, went with like a house like the original. So it's not like like I think by like Home Alone 22 or something, like they're basically in like a 1-bedroom condo because it's all they could afford. So it's nice to see they did. It does seem like it's appropriate in scope. It's not a direct-to-video sequel vibe.
I gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, there was like some crane shots.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
And I'm eager for all the YouTube videos that will come out after this, discussing the physics of the various traps and everything that are compiled by the young man, because those were some of the favorites of our son when he was much younger. He enjoyed watching all those reports on what would actually happen if you hit somebody upside the head with a large can of paint and these kinds of things.
I'd just like to officially say Laughing Place does not condone hitting anybody with any crates or obstacles of any sort.
Can I throw pool balls at people?
No.
Not throw them, shoot them through a gun of some sort, and then say, that didn't sound right. Like, yes, he realizes that this is quite violent and would not turn out the way it's supposed to.
I'm excited. I'm hoping it's fun.
So we're going to upgrade our Burbank.
Trade it in.
I don't know if it's an upgrade.
Oh,
but you get Winnie the Pooh. So
is that one of those weighted ones?
Yeah, he's pretty great. So he's joining me for a little bit.
Fun fact about those: don't put them in your carry-on luggage.
Oh no,
they put you over, right?
That's true.
No, it's not that they put you over. It's just the weight is so dense that they're going to want to look into your bag, and then they're gonna not understand that the plush. Then they're gonna wonder why your plush weighs like 30 pounds, and if you're trying to breeze through security like I try and do, just put in your check bag.
It's stressful then, right?
So let's talk about some Star Wars bounty.
Yes, we have. The article is uploading right now, but we do have this brand new global campaign that Disney and Lucasfilm are launching, and it's called Bring Home the Bounty. And for the next 12 weeks, we're going to have new Star Wars releases every Tuesday. Some items will be pre-order, which will be available on the following Wednesday. But yeah, we've got so much stuff coming. They've specifically called out that there'll be items for Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian, and then of course Star Wars Visions and the Star Wars Skywalker saga. So everything's here. Bad Batch. We've got all sorts of toys from Hasbro, from Lego, from stuff from Shop Disney, and from her universe as well. So it's pretty exciting.
Am I the only one when you hear Bring Home the Bounty? I feel like I should bring home some paper towels.
Yeah.
Well, now that you say it, I'm going to think it constantly. But they do have a few items that released this week. There's some of those kids lightsabers. Those are available. And then we've got some Crocs, Mandalorian Crocs. Lots of fun stuff. And I've never seen or heard of this company. I think it's Diff, DIFF, and they have some really cool, really expensive Star Wars themed sunglasses. And we've got Ahsoka, we've got Grogu and Mando, and then they also have,
I'll throw up a couple of pics from StarWars.com.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. So yeah.
I
like rocks too.
Right? It's kind of fun. They have those in adult sizes. So,
I'm excited about this idea of like a weekly drop. It makes it a little bit easier as a consumer, especially doing this where they're going to reveal them to us on Tuesday and then the pre-order starts on Wednesday. So at least we have a little bit of time to process, because sometimes, man, it pops up, and if you don't, especially the Roosevelt shirts, those Roosevelt designs go up, and you better jump right on it because it'll disappear out from underneath you.
Yep.
So I like that the way that StarWars.com is unveiling, the way that Star Wars has decided to unveil stuff. They give me a little bit of time to decide how in am I.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Yes. And they have a cool calendar on their Bring Home the Bounty website, which is just an extension of StarWars.com. But they have a cool calendar with the different logos. I'm assuming it might tie in for the weeks, but also there's so many products that I think we're just going to get.
I see we see a Mandalorian, we see Ahsoka, the child, a Gonk droid, I believe that's the name of it. And then the 50th logo for Lucasfilm 50th, which by the way has led to some challenges with Laughing Place that none of you care about, but I find funny. And that is because it's the 50th of Lucasfilm, our tag for 50th for Walt Disney World will also randomly bring up Lucasfilm items from time to time as well. So it was very funny. The other day I was scrolling through all this wonderful Walt Disney World news, and then, whoa, hey, there's the Black Series figure of George Lucas. It's good. Good times.
George Lucas has been to Walt Disney World.
Yes,
That's
yes,
true.
There's even a lightsaber logo on one of those weeks, so maybe
Mhm.
we'll get like a particular influx of lightsabers. That'd be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, what's interesting is to me is that there's definitely some hints, like the video game controller, and it also lasts all the way through Christmas and into the Boba Fett. It's not just sort of a Christmas push. This is
Right.
going to go. I mean, we've had Mando Monday in the past, which I thought was fun, but that was just tied to Mando, obviously, and then Marvel must-haves. But we're excited about. I'm excited about what this could possibly mean. So.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yep.
So you also this morning covered that the Disney Cruise Line announced their early 2023, which seems like ages from now, but
I know. Well, every time Disney announces something, I'm like, that's so far away. And then I blink, and the next thing I know, it's like, oh my goodness, we're already coming up on 2022. So it's not as far away as it feels. But yeah, we have Disney Cruise Line bookings will be opening October 21st for the general public, and this is for all the ships, and from the various ports, including Miami, Port Canaveral. They're going to do New Orleans, Galveston, Texas, and San Diego. So all 5 ships will be cruising the seas.
So you'll have 2 ships in Florida, right?
Yes.
You'll have Port Canaveral. You'll have
3 actually in Florida, 2 at Port Canaveral, and 1 in Miami.
So the Wish and the Fantasy will be at Port Canaveral. Then the Dream will be in Miami, which I believe this is the first time it's left Port Canaveral for any substantial amount of time.
I don't know one way or the other, but I'm inclined to believe that.
and then the Magic will go to Galveston, Texas, which used to be sort of the Wonder's stomping ground. And then what I'm not quite clear on is where the Wonder will be sailing out of San Diego in April and May, but I'm not quite sure what it's doing in February and March.
That's true.
But that could just be my lack of parsing this press release. But now it's hard because like you don't know what worlds are going to be open, but it used to be that the fall, everyone kind of went back to Port Canaveral during the winter because there was no Alaska season, but you can see they're getting a little bit more adventurous. And I think that's kind of cool. I mean, you have to if you're going to have how many ships? 7 ships.
I think that's the ultimate, or at least that we know of. That's the goal, right? Is 7. They've announced 7.
And if you have any questions or want more information about the Disney cruise, we've taken numerous sailings and we've written about them here on Laughing Place, and you can find videos of what it's like to take a Disney cruise. You can find that all here on laughingplace.com and on our YouTube channel. And then we have a travel partner with Mouseband Travel, and they are cruise experts, and even beyond that, they're Disney experts. So be sure to contact them regarding your travel needs. It's always, especially right now with we have a little bit of changes occurring with the COVID protocols still popping up every now and again. Always great to have a travel agent in your corner. They'll be the one on hold instead of you, without an additional cost to you. So that's where that's kind of my take on travel agents currently, is let them sit on hold.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw, it's not really the Galactic Star Cruiser. That's not something you want to do. Spend 6 hours on hold if you don't have to.
So be sure to reach out to Mouseband Travel about any Disney cruise you're thinking of taking.
And finally, as of now, we'll see what pops up. But Ron's Gone Wrong tickets have gone on sale. Our review went up on Saturday, I think. I saw it in the London, West Hollywood, where they did the screening. But it's what's interesting is this the voice actor Jack Dylan Grazer, I believe, who voices Barney Podowski, who's this like has no friends and is very timid. Also voices Bernardo in Luca, who is very gregarious and outgoing. So he has animated range of and meets this Baymax ripoff. And the idea is that these Bebots are supposed to be your friend out of a box. They have this algorithm, and they do whatever you want, but his doesn't get the full download for plot reasons. And then Barney basically has to teach him how to be a friend, and by doing so, he actually makes a better friend, than the one that is out of the box, but along the way, there's plenty of definitely low, they call like low power Baymax modes, like he's just not working right, and there's a lot of hilarity that ensues. I thought the first half was really good. It was funny, it was complex, but I feel like the ending is a little undercooked. Like they didn't quite, it doesn't quite make sense. There's some sort of technological ethical questions. It also doesn't help that like we've all been surrounded by all this Facebook news, and
sure,
it kind of gives this film a weight that it wasn't designed to have, and so, but it's fun, it's enjoyable for those that are ready to go back to a theater, depending on vaccine status and all regulations. It's a good reason to go take the family out, going back into a dark room and see something projected on the big screen.
Into a dark room. Wow, make movie going sound so appealing. Go back into a dark room.
I think from the little trailers that I've seen, it looks really fun. So, but I'm glad you mentioned Baymax, because that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, this is Baymax, but like more, I don't know. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but a little bit crazier, not as like polished.
What's interesting is this is the first animated feature from Locksmith Animation in the UK, which has ties to the Murdoch family. But now that Disney has sort of animation covered, they actually moved their deal over to Warner Brothers. So this is probably the one film from this group. I mean, things could change, but that we'll see from Disney. And I think it's funny just based on the way planning happened for the last year, that the Happy Meal toys have come and gone.
Yep.
So if the movie catches on, you could, if you have some runs gone wrong, Happy Meal toys, you might be worth something.
Mine are in a bag in a closet, just in case.
In a dark room waiting for a screen.
Right. Yeah.
I like how Doobie's trying to bring down the levity of.
I don't think he's trying to bring down the levity.
What's going on in the Disney exec ranks?
It's out there. That Hollywood Reporter article was very interesting, along with the graphic that accompanied it. And, people are intrigued and interested. And is it wonk? Is that the right word?
I think what happens when you have stories that come down to interpersonal relationships, like this is coming down to, no article in the Hollywood Reporter is going to accurately convey what's going on, because it's about really only people who know. There's two people who know, right? And there's obviously a germ of truth. There's also a germ of taking things out of proportion, which is a theme of that article, where there's this happened, but Bob says that was taken out of proportion, or this, then that says that was taken out of proportion, which of course happens, right? I remember when Bob Iger was talking about how he was going to take a more larger role because of the COVID pandemic, and you're like, of course he's going to. He ran the company forever. Like, this is your first 3 weeks on the job. But then it becomes a whole thing because it's in the Reporter. So I think we'll know in hindsight. I don't know that we can even possibly know now, because
But check out that graphic. I mean, come on.
Even Walt looks concerned.
Look at Mickey. Mickey looks nervous. And then
Yes.
you've got the Black Widow, right? Because of that whole scenario that happened. So
And Darth Vader's like, huh? What's going on?
scratching his head. Yep. I like how the door says Bob and like the name is like, okay, does it really say Chapek on there? Or have they not even changed the name on the door yet? I don't know. I find the whole picture that is painted by the Hollywood Reporter graphic entertaining.
Well, if you can pull that up, you know what the most unrealistic thing about this whole thing is? That they're working in an office.
Yeah,
Good point.
it's very
Maybe
true.
that's his home. Maybe he decorates his own office that way. Oh, I'm just entertained. I find it amusing. Whenever there's any opportunity for this kind of thing, it's interesting to see. Because I mean, right now there's a lot of change going on dynamically, just because of what's happened with the COVID situation too, right? Because it's kind of changed the way theatricals are viewed. The importance of movies in theaters versus streaming, that's in a bit of a transition. We've got Imagineering, relocating in portion or to a certain, degree to the Lake Nona, Florida area. That's a massive change in culture when you do that kind of thing, I think.
Well, there's no question you have forget. I mean, the Bob switchover is one thing, but you have a couple things that are happening all at the same time. You have a lot of retirements because of, you had layoffs. Then you had a hiring frenzy. You had a transition of how you do your business. You've had the Disney Plus transition. And I mean, while Imagineering is not heading over till, for another 3 years or so, you have the whole Lake Nona thing, which is obviously kind of in everyone's back mind. So I think there's a lot of questions about what this company's going to mean. And I'm not providing value. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm just saying this is not the same company coming out of the pandemic that it was going into it.
Well, and when you have times of change, right, there's always going to be an element that fully embraces it. And there's going to be an element that wants to hold on to the previous. And so if you add into it this dynamic that outsiders are bringing in of a tension between your most powerful forces within the company, then elements within will play that, right, in order to empower what their point of view is. And so as outsiders, you kind of have to, I don't know, kind of sit back in a way, because it's hard to know just how much value the loudest voice deserves, if that makes sense.
Well, and not even the loudest voice, the voice that's willing to go to Kim Masters. And
that kind of thing.
This is the same woman who wrote Magic, the Michael Eisner, Michael Ovitz book.
And
Keys
to the Kingdom, right?
Yeah, you're right. And there's somebody at Disney who's sending her this stuff, maybe a couple people. That doesn't mean she's, there's definitely people who are not going to share their perspective. So she's only going to have what she has. And we've seen this play out before, where they do hit pieces on certain executives because they want to do, there's some other executive that wants to cause a ruckus. And that doesn't mean it's accurate or, fully accurate. And, what's unfortunate is that as fans, it's all we have.
Right.
But, we're creating value judgments on these folks based off of not knowing them. And it's very dangerous. And I would just caution people to be careful. I mean, if you want to play fun to see what's going on and guess, and that's fine, but don't get angry over anything because it's not true. In no way is this the whole truth. And you got to know that going into it.
I've been writing about the Disney Company for almost 20, a long time now. Like I started in 1996, 97, writing about the Disney Company. And it's funny to me, back then, the great villain was Eisner, right? And it's funny now because I see a lot of fans on Twitter glorifying Eisner in ways that back then you would have been excoriated if you would have presented Eisner in such terms. And so it's fun as a reporter on it. And I'm a fan, but I also enjoy just kind of seeing the way things cycle around. Things that, like Bug's Life, when it first appeared on the scene, was not beloved. But then when it went away for Avengers Campus, there was an outpouring of love for A Bug's Life. So just things like this. It's been fun to kind of watch the ebb and flow, the transition of things that go from maybe not being appreciated to becoming classics. It is what it is. It isn't in stone. I think there are very few things that for all time are dreadful, right? Maybe what can we I'm trying to think. Black Cauldron. Do we still agree that Black Cauldron was a particularly good film, or is that now a beloved classic and I just haven't gotten the memo?
Oh no! To me, Robin. It wasn't about Disney, but Robin Lopez, I think, or maybe it was somebody else. Was like the reaction to the closure of Shrek 4D proves that no matter how awful something is, if it lasts long enough, people will lament its closing.
Well, isn't it partially also like generational? Like if you grew up with something, then that kind of helps shape your view of Disney or Universal or movies, whatever. And then it's important. So there's always someone who it's going to be important to. I don't know.
The tale I like to tell people when they get upset that I'm not dogmatic on my views about Disney attractions or whatever is I was sitting on a parking lot tram heading back to the parking lot at the end of a day at Disneyland, and there was this family in front of me. They were on the benches, that face each other, so you could, it was a large group, and one of them was sharing with her family, did you, partway through the day, I guess they'd split up, and she was like, did you guys visit that really awful, it was like there were these dead birds and they were singing. And she just went on. She was just blasting the Tiki Room. And I mean, just pouring on. It was like 12, it was 15, 20 minutes long of just these dead birds. Who thought that? And I'm dying because I'm like, there are so many people that if you ask them, hey, if somebody's going to Disneyland for the first time, what should they never miss? And Tiki Room is on that list for so many people. Mm-hmm. But yet for these people, that was like the big miss of the day. What? Sure. Who was thinking that was a good idea? And I'm like, it is what it is. It didn't work for them.
Right.
It works for me. I love it.
Yeah.
Windows the magic, throwing up all the hashtags. Check it out. I remember too many of these.
It's upset because where it gets scary or dangerous is when people outside the company think they know everything about Bob Chapek, Josh D'Amaro, Bob Iger, because then they get angry and want someone to get fired, even though that they don't. Josh is a great example. It's like everyone loves Josh. Everyone seems to vilify Bob Chapek, but the stuff that people are complaining about Bob Chapek are coming from the parks division. So it's not like, I don't know if it's just because he has hair or what, but like, it's like if it's bad, it's Chapek's fault. If it's good, it's Josh's fault. And they're both, as far as I know, great guys. I mean, they might not agree with their decision. None of them are, mustache twirling villains.
But in fairness, Chapek speaks in corporate tones, and that isn't the most appealing as a Disney fan consumer.
Maybe I'm just old, but you know who else did that? Bob Iger. When Bob Iger was president, he was just as bad as Bob Chapek at speaking. He was really, I remember the opening of Golden Dreams, you're like, this guy's going to run the company. We all joked when Bob Iger got named that this was going to just be he's an Eisner lackey, has no vision. No. But, he did. And he showed it. What Bob Chapek doesn't have a chance to do is really show it because, he never had the chance to do the Oswald or the fun acquisition or whatever because he's trying to hang on. Yeah. Which isn't anyone's fault, just the way it was. And all the stuff that's happening that people are talking about with the parks, that was all wanted to be done since since Tom Stacks, right? It was just they didn't have the wherewithal to do it.
I miss Tom Stacks.
And so I
was a Tom
think
Stacks
you need to
fan.
be careful. Disney's not a kingdom, it's a collection of people. And it's hard to trace down whose dumb idea something was or whose great idea something was.
I gotta ask, your comment kind of struck me too. Trying to hang on with in what way?
Well, I think, in the early days of the pandemic, they didn't know where the money was going to come from.
Gotcha.
The whole business was shut down. So, they took out loans. Now they're trying to pay back those loans. You're still not running on 100%. This company is based off of a certain expectation. There's a certain ebb and flows to the box office or attendance that, they can withstand. But shutting down Disneyland for, over a year is not in the plan.
Right.
And so they had to, they literally had to go find money because there was none coming in and they still had to have some coming out. So, and I don't mean like the company is going to go bankrupt.
No, I get it.
The company needs cash to operate, and without cash, they can't fund Disney Plus. Disney Plus, remember, does not yet make a profit. Right. Therefore, the only thing that really does make a profit right now is parks and their, and cable television. But there's just a lot.
Yep. So we'll see. I don't know. So yeah, see,
and I think the big thing that is going to be the telling thing is, Bob Iger's currently chairman. So for all those people that are like, Chapek's doing whatever he wants, he still reports to Bob Iger. So there's a certain amount of, I think Bob Iger is giving him plenty of leash, but it's not like he's his own boss. But when Bob Iger is no longer chairman by the end of the year, assuming all goes according to what we think, they will need to name a new chairman or chairwoman. And who that is, I think, will be very, very revealing and what their vision is, because they will ultimately be the boss.
Yep. I'm looking forward to Disney Streaming Day, right? That's coming up in a month, right?
Disney Plus Day, November 12th.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun, because that's kind of, I feel like a lot of the eggs are in that basket when it comes to Disney right now. So I'm eager to see what comes out of Disney Streaming Day. So, Kyle, did you have anything to jump in on there? I wasn't sure if you had any questions in the midst of Benji wonking it out there.
Sorry.
No, I don't have anything other than, I agree that I like to take people on a decision by decision basis, and we're not always going to know who made them. So obviously I think there are ones that I disagree with, but I don't know if I want to just entirely write someone off because of one thing,
Can I toss out a question, or are we wrapping it up? Because I have a question for you guys. I'm curious, Ben and Kyle and Becca too. But this Disney Genie Plus that's about to launch, like as a fan and a consumer, like what's your take on it? I'm gonna ask you, Kyle. What's your take on Disney Genie?
I like parts of it, obviously. The Disney Genie itself is a long time coming. I'm a little concerned, first of all, just because having experienced MDX, even after all these years and all these glitches, I don't know how a paid product is going to work out. But in terms of the paid element of it, I think it will be convenient for people who want to buy it. It's just, I think we're always going to wish that there was still that free option. And I know that there are people that hated FastPass, and you can reasonably argue that it made standbys shorter, but at least, like, I didn't really care for FastPass Plus, honestly, but the regular FastPass system which was at Walt Disney World at one point, but I'm used to it at Disneyland, I was totally good with that, and I wish that there was still some part of that in this new program. Like, I don't necessarily mind them offering paid upgrades to people, but I wish that they kept that free option.
Yeah, but it would be nice if there was kind of a free element that was more of an on-demand on-site, to where, if you had to like actually go to the attraction and get a return time, as opposed to you pay to book it kind of, within the day. That would have been a nice kind of counterbalance. I'm with you. What about you, Mr. Ben? What's your take on Genie Plus? I haven't had a chance to ask.
Genie or Genie Plus?
Genie Plus, because Genie, I feel like, is really finally, this is what we expected when My Magic Plus was announced.
Right, and I think Genie, it's hard to separate for me because my take on it is Genie Plus is how they pay for Genie.
But shouldn't they just invest in Genie? If they want Genie, can't they just invest in that? Like it's been in the works since before the pandemic. So you can't.
They could. They could. They're just not going to.
Well, then.
Well, and I think I think they've made no secret that this is the starting point for Genie Plus, and there will be other experience a la carte opportunities that will present themselves. And I'm honestly torn. I mean, I like you pay for your day at Disney and that's it, right? Like I hate paying for parking. It's like I bought the ticket. How am I gonna do you think I was just gonna beam myself here? Like what? Just charge me, I'd rather they raise the ticket price to $15 and just make it available to everybody. But and without knowing how many they're willing to sell and what the uptake will be, it's hard to see, how much. Is it going to be like a trickle of people that, so you're still going to have, people coming in that, it's not going to really slow down the standby lines. Okay, well then, maybe not so bad. Is it 80-20 like it was for FastPass? Then that's terrible. And I don't know, I don't think we're privy to the numbers. I don't think they would ever tell us. I don't think they ever officially told us 80-20. But, I like MaxPass, but it was an option. It was a convenience option, sort of a way to make their existing product better, more convenient. And the individual Lightning Lane purchase, I almost really don't have a problem with because, that's a simple transaction based on, is that ride worth this to me?
Right.
And they're not going to sell that many that it's going to bog down the queue, for this day guest. So yeah, it's going to impact them, but not like a crazy amount. It's probably going to take people just out of the experience.
Actually, Window to the Magic Max Pass, you could re-ride. If you rode Roger Rabbit and then you wanted to ride Roger Rabbit again later in the day, bypassing the standard queue, you could. Whereas with Genie Plus, my understanding thus far is that you cannot.
Well, and the fundamental difference too is Max Pass, Fast Pass was still an option, and so yes, it's the same.
Oh, we lost Ben.
Have to pay to do Fast Pass. That's what I think is people are upset about. I don't think they care about what they call Max Pass because everyone, but and I'm part of me is like, I don't like being nickel and dime, but part of me is like, well, if they're willing to sell a la carte experiences, then, maybe there's some neat experiences that they can't open up to everyone at Walt Disney World that, they'll charge $15 for a special moment with Cinderella or charge $5 for this or whatever. So, it does totally nickel and dime you, kind of like a cruise line, but, is that worth the trade-off? So I don't, much like the Magic Key, you really got to see what the uptake is and the utilization to see how much of an inconvenience it is. Because when Magic Key started, they were fully available, basically. Great, like no big deal. And now I look and there's like hardly anything available. And you go, okay, this is different, and you got to see which end of the spectrum this ends up falling, which we won't know until next Tuesday. And probably even beyond that, because next Tuesday won't be a ideal sample of what this will be like.
I'm checking Window to the Magic. You guys helped with the content. Am I misapplying it? Is that only individual Lightning Lane? I thought it was all Lightning Lane.
So I don't know if it's on the page anywhere, but they've been doing meetings with like travel agents and stuff. And from those meetings, what's being reported is that they've said that it's only, one individual Lightning Lane up to 2 attractions, up to 2 uses per day. And then the Disney Genie Plus is supposed to be no rerides either, just each attraction one time. But yeah, I don't know. It's been kind of weird because we have had these like interesting tidbits that are, kind of game changing, and they haven't put them into a full article, like a Disney Parks blog or on their page yet. They've just been really, once someone asks about them in these travel agent meetings is where they come out. But that is my understanding. Obviously, we don't know for sure until it launches in a few days.
So window to the magic, that would be the answer there, is in the exchanges that we were able to have asking questions of the service. We were informed that Lightning Lane access would be once per day for that attraction. And then obviously with the different limitations for the individual Lightning Lane experience versus your Genie Plus experience. So, and that was what was the game changer. And that was what was the game changer for me, that really was like, whoa, hey, hold on. Because as the mom with children, there have been times where a toddler gets fixated on a particular attraction. And so the ability to kind of re-ride bypassing the standby line was a great value. So I will, if it proves to be the case, I will miss that opportunity.
I will say that, yeah, I get that. I mean, and I've been with people who have that, they want to ride this one attraction 5 times. I get that. But Disney really, that's really not that's the opposite of what Disney wants, right? They want everyone to have the chance to experience the attraction, and at least once, and it's not so much, it's not so big of a deal at Small World,
right?
But if suddenly everyone's experiencing, I know it's not on Genie Plus, but let's say like Rise of Resistance over and over, or even Smuggler's Run, which is on Genie Plus, over and over again, and that prevents day guests from getting on it, then you have a little bit of a bigger problem. I wouldn't be surprised if they waive that. I mean, I'd be surprised because it would require technological change. But if they say, okay, for these like freebie kind of attractions, like sure, you can do it again. But Rise of, Smuggler's Run, Space Mountain, or whatever, those are, once a day.
But on the flip side, as a consumer, my hope is that rather than Space Mountain being, 50 minutes to an hour because of the ratio of, Lightning Lane, previous Fast Pass to standby, that maybe we'll see those wait times shorter, as a general consumer. So when I do the bypass, then maybe my standby wait to re-ride will not be as long as it had been in the past. Plus, with Genie, I'm supposed to know my optimal times to ride, right? So if I can be told, hey, it'll be 20 minutes if you wait till, so we'll see.
And regardless of whether the wait is shorter or longer, I mean, it should theoretically be about the same. You'll at least be moving. And never underestimate the power of moving through a queue as opposed to just being stuck waiting.
Yes.
So true. That's why Roger Rabbit Cartoon Spin for me is the worst queue. Because just being locked in that thing, because the ratio back in the day for standby to Fast Pass at Roger Rabbit was very challenging. So, but yeah, I'm so excited for Genie to launch and to see it in practice, because I mean, dining at the Magic Kingdom on October 1st was a horror for many, many people. I mean, I heard for me, it was a dream. I got my food in 10 minutes. So somehow I missed it. Whatever the horror was, I missed it. But other people were getting, 2 hours waits on their return time for their food. Their arrival window would be like, well, actually, 2 hours from now is when you'll get your food, kind of thing, is what I was hearing. So I'm interested to see what this. Yes, go ahead, Ben.
My sympathy for people visiting Magic Kingdom on October 1st is like next to zero. I mean, you knew what you were getting into.
They knew what they were inviting. I'm sorry, but your system needs to be able to handle people coming, or you need to figure out something else. You can't have people hungry. And then if you want to go buy a beverage and you're told it's 2 hours until you can get a beverage, that's ridiculous.
Well, but it's only if you still have the opportunity to buy a beverage, just don't have an opportunity to buy a beverage at that specific location.
I'm sorry, you figure out a way to adapt to where somebody can grab a quick bite in your place if you're unable to handle the thing. I don't have patience for it. Nope, sorry. I don't. You make it work. They paid just the same price as the people the day before, or the people actually probably paid more than the people the day before, or the people that pay after with their whatever pricing where they change ticket prices based on popularity of the day. So they need to be able to handle the popularity of the day. not behaving during merchandise, I have a different feeling on. People should behave themselves. But
Well, I mean, I gotta say though, I mean, I didn't eat at Magic Kingdom on October 1st, but I mean, I had the same thing when Disneyland reopened, right? Like, I mean, you had to plan your food, which isn't great, but I don't know,
if you know how many people are going to be there, increase your food offerings.
Well, I mean, right now that's not so easy.
Well, my understanding is it was a glitch in the system, so I think you need to figure out a way to offer an alternative if you have a glitch in your system.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, we all know Disney's glitches.
I mean, honestly, my understanding was that the locations themselves, it wasn't that there was too much of an influx of traffic. It was that the traffic couldn't get to them. But I like I say, it wasn't a problem I had. When 5 o'clock rolled around and I decided I wanted to go to Sleepy Hollow and get a chicken waffle that I love, I put in I went to the app and it showed me a window about 10 minutes after I went right up and I got my food and I found a spot and I had a lovely dinner. I did not have any Magic Kingdom dining problems.
Well, was that only mobile? Was it mobile order only?
I think that's what was going on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I say, oh, Doobie, you weren't even there. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sitting here typing away, going crazy, and then I realize I have a voice here. The guy up there is insane. You do not make an excuse for Disney not being able to feed their guests just because it's October 1st.
Oh, I'm not saying
Disney knows exactly how many people are coming to the park. If they can't handle that many, they have the ability to lower the attendance. They have the reservations now. There is no excuse.
No.
Do not make an excuse for them.
I'm not saying no. They were able to feed every guest who wanted to eat.
If they waited 3 hours. That is not acceptable.
Don't blow it up. I only heard 2.
That's
2 is
not
the largest window I heard.
acceptable. The day before they could handle mobile order on a reasonable basis. The day after they could. There's no excuse for not being able to handle October. There weren't more people there. They limit attendance. There's reservations now.
There were more people there.
Well, that's their fault because everyone needs a reservation now. They know how many people are coming. You don't need to make an excuse for them. Say they messed up and they can do better.
Come and get off the top rope.
All right, I've had my say. Goodbye.
I'll be
He
honest.
misunderstands that I care.
But no, that was one of those moments that, as a Disney fan, disappointed me to see so many people struggling with that element of their day. That made me sad. Other things, like for the merchandise, I expect that to be a nonsense. Fireworks. I expect I'm going to have to get there a gazillion hours ahead of time in order to be able to see fireworks.
Right. No, and I guess, I mean, we just need more specifics because it's like, was it mobile order only and were they not able to get food anywhere or they were not able to get food at someplace they wanted to have it?
Well, I'm sure you could access popcorn or spring roll, those kinds of things. Yes. But your eateries, your quick service eateries, it sounds like
the mobile order system went down, right? It had technical issues.
That's my understanding.
Oh, no, that's a whole other different thing then. Yeah, no, that's
it's not a coincidence that it had technical issues on October 1st.
Oh no, I didn't know it had technical issues. I didn't try and move or anything. No, that shouldn't break. My understanding is that it broke and then the catch up was a real mess, and so
the mustard wasn't too neat either.
So
no, I mean, and I think they did stop letting people in. I'd be curious. I wasn't at the park too. I'd be curious to see how many people park hopped in because it's the first time I think people would have gotten a reservation at another park, and then when the park hopping started, go over there because we were there. We got there like at 2-ish, no, maybe 4, and it was
it was earlier. You're right. It was closer to the lunch hour, so like 1-ish, 2-ish, around in that.
Yeah, and it was but it was after park hopping had started.
You're right.
And
I forgot. Yeah, we went over. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we're at the Poly, and so it was miserable, and we left because we had other things to do.
He left. I didn't leave. He left.
Oh yeah, sorry, I left.
Yeah,
and
I like the miserable,
but it was uncomfortable. I mean, I think they should have rethought their park hopping.
They froze it, right?
Right, but too late.
Oh, I don't think so. I stayed for fireworks. I left directly after fireworks and I was on a bus within like 20 minutes. I was out of the gate on a bus, having received my free gift as I exited.
Well, but
And
I guess the question is,
and I watched fireworks from Fantasyland.
well,
So,
but I mean, I agree with you on this, is that I don't know when the mobile order went down, but if they're not able to meet those feed the guests, then they should have stopped, because you're right. I mean, if mobile order breaks and you can't feed them, you don't have whatever to have a recovery mode, then you need to stop letting people in, because people got to eat.
Yeah, no, my understanding is the mobile order was a challenge midday meals until late afternoon, is when and so by like my friends who, I put in an order at Sleepy Hollow, and they said, hey, we'll go grab food at Harbor House. And the mobile order window popped up for them, but then they were told it would be 90 minutes after that until they would actually get food. So they left. They left the park. Oh, Tony, hey.
Hi.
You gonna chime in here on my?
No, I just wanted to be like Kyle and Becca and just sit here and watch Mom and Dad and Uncle Doobie fight.
Uncle Ben. So,
Uncle Ben,
but
sorry,
as long as we're here, I'm not going to absolve of the merchandise problems. I take all that back. How many times has Disney sold limited edition merchandise, from D23 to every birthday to every merchandise event? Will they ever get this right, Benji?
No.
Okay.
Can you? But I mean, can you?
I will say, we went to Epcot, and they were selling stuff at Creation Shop.
Yep.
And I don't know, it wasn't the whole line, but it was enough.
Most of it.
And it was busy.
They had stuff exclusive to there, too.
You could get through, and I
Mhm.
wouldn't say it was like super well organized, but it wasn't, it wasn't Walmart Black Friday crazy. And so,
Will you stop, Tony?
Sorry.
You know what's interesting, Ben, is that my understanding is that Ratatouille shop we walked past at World Showcase in World Showplace that we didn't stop in. My understanding, if we'd have gone in, my understanding is there had been some merchandise in there too.
Well, and I think that's the way they handled. I mean, first of all, World Showplace is about 3 counties long,
It's huge.
So you have space.
Yep.
The best way to do this is to release nothing at the park and do some sort of planned thing, either at a convention center, World Showplace, big tent someplace, and just treat it like the Costco it is.
Does that make sense to you, Becca?
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the different merchandise release things that I've seen that seems to have worked, but I don't know. I feel like way back when they were doing Star Wars weekends, they had all of that stuff in a separate area. I mean, it was still in the park, but it was in a separate area. So
mall.
It wasn't like throughout every store when you walked into the park, you had to venture back there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the way I would have done it. I would have done it the day before at the Contemporary,
Mm-hmm.
or wherever.
Yeah.
I mean, Contemporary has its own parking issues, but someplace, who cares?
Mm-hmm.
And then wind them through, sell whatever you get, and then that's the end of it.
But what's funny is I know that'll get screwed up too, because I remember when merchant. No, but it's just funny because and I've been saying this for a long time now, and they had a Haunted Mansion event back in '99, and they sold out all the merchandise before the event, and so so I stopped really paying attention to merchandise after that, and I don't wait in line for merchandise, which ended up suiting me well, because the next event was a Pirates of the Caribbean event, and that was a debacle where it was days and days of trying to sort through stuff, and Disney ended up issuing all kinds of refunds to people who attended that event. We were on vacation in Walt Disney World getting phone calls with memos that they wanted us to post on Laughing Place to, help get the word out about how apologetic they were. It's just really amazing. No, you haven't been blocked, Bob. No, not that I'm aware of. So, it's just, so I don't tend to wait in queue. So I don't tend to buy a lot of this stuff unless it's convenient to me.
The best way to enjoy an event of any kind is to not, whether it's a merchandise event or not, is to not buy merchandise.
But there are people who they care about that. It really means something
I'm
to
not.
them.
I totally get that. I'm not saying that it's not worth anything. I'm just saying is as if you want to enjoy the 50th, you got to make yourself not care about the merchandise.
What you gonna say, Tony?
That I'm glad there's a shipping problem off the coast of California, because that's why it's coming in staggered. So it's not a complete bare knuckle free for all at the Emporium. I go every few days and there's something new.
Yeah, I'm awaiting the next arrivals because we're about to get more of the iridescent line, and then after that we're gonna get the Lux collection, and who knows what else is on the horizon. Yeah, Doobie, what you want to say?
So I'm going to go back to work. I just wanted to say, I think Bob Chapek, if he would like to endear himself to the fans, perhaps he could close that old attraction with those dead singing birds and put something fun there.
Or he could bring back something else.
Oh,
Just
man.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
bye.
a whole different. That's a whole different debate that we
Bring
can
it back
have
with an
someday.
actual alien theme.
If they put it at the right park this time.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I took the whole conversation really off rails.
It's like Mickey's
Thanks,
Runaway
Ability Weaver.
Railway.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Kyle?
Oh, it's like Runaway Railway. It breaks off and does its own little track list thing.
So I was thinking about Runaway Railway last night. So like the train cars are all crazy. Are they sentient then? Because you get into the Daisy scene and they start dancing. Like, are they? How do they know how to dance? Who's controlling them? I have lots of questions.
Oh, now I feel.
Yeah, that
awkward.
feels like a Fantasia type thing, right? Like a sorcerer.
Which would make sense. It would make sense if the cars had little faces and we're doing their. I mean, it's not the. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, Gideon.
Yeah,
It was more fun than I was anticipating, for sure.
more fun. How about you, Kyle? How did it measure up to your expectations?
I agree with Becca.
I think I'm the only LPer who does not enjoy that ride.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's better than Great Movie Ride, but I don't think that.
Yeah, it's a skip it for me. Like among Disney attractions, I'd rather do something else.
Skip it.
Gideon, we went on it twice on the 50th anniversary, didn't we?
Yeah, I was very thankful that he had his uncle to take him on it more frequently. I didn't have to. That was such a good day. I had so much fun. I was in an extremely crowded park all by myself. And I had a blast because Gideon was off with Ben. Doobie was in California.
We did all 4 parks.
They
plus
did.
Disney
Goodness
Springs.
gracious.
It was so that Gideon keeps talking about it. It was so fun.
Did you ride the mountain range?
Oh no, Gideon isn't that adventurous. Let's see what there was. Railway was in there. I know Cruise was in there. I know Mansion was in there. Did you guys end up doing? Oh, Dinosaur would have been over at Animal Kingdom. Did you guys actually do an attraction at Epcot, or did you just walk and shop?
Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
That's right. I forgot. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure over at Epcot.
That's what that stands for, and he's just wrong.
but it represents his truth. I tell you.
I mean, you can. No, it goes Rise, Mickey's, and then Remy.
Yeah. No, he likes Rise. You like Remy more than Rise, huh? Yep.
No, he has to answer through comments. He can't. None of this like.
He walked back in here and gave me a thumbs up.
Can't break the second wall.
Nice work, pal.
Nice.
Oh well, I guess we should probably wrap up. We've discussed everything on our topic list, and I took.
But I gotta ask Rebecca a question.
Oh no.
Vamp for me for a second.
Well, okay. So as part of the fun of being by myself, I got to just stroll around, and then like the queue opened up for Big Top Souvenirs, which had been a virtual queue early in the day, and then it reopened. But I went over and they had sandwich boards, and everything was sold out, so I didn't have to worry about going in. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I on that day they made PhotoPass free for everybody. And so you could get like really cool, like they had these iridescent things you could hold, and pose for photos, and they had like special. Oh,
what do you think?
I love the popcorn bucket.
I don't know. Can we see it being dropped?
I do. I love the popcorn bucket. This is among my more favorite popcorn buckets recently. But the refillable mug that they have right now for the 50th, not the one that's the vintage where you have the swan boat. It's the other one where it has like all the resorts and the various. It's so brightly colored. It's that modern Mickey and Minnie on the front. It has all the resorts, and then it has Skyliner and buses and that I love that refillable mug. It's on my list for when I go back. I still haven't gotten a photograph of the 50th doormat in front of each of the resort hotels. I got a bulk of them knocked out. I need more pictures of bus marquees. Those were so fun. Mm-hmm. Did you guys see? I think you guys probably saw them because we were sending them to you guys for the news desk. But it was things like celebrating 50 years of Jungle Jokes, and then on the Animal Kingdom Lodge bus, and then it would be 50 years of kids driving cars. That was my favorite. Of kids driving cars. That was my favorite bus marquee.
There's some of those that weren't accurate.
What?
Like the turkey legs.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay. I don't get my Disney history from bus marquees.
Benji, I know you're a fan of collecting merchandise for attractions that aren't going to last. So you're going to pick up this popcorn bucket on your next visit?
Yep.
I so don't understand. You loved that thing, didn't you?
Love?
I thought you enjoyed it unironically.
I did enjoy it unironically. I would just think it was fun. It was fine. I wouldn't say it's special. I just like things that I think Disney needs to do more fun stuff, less grandiose, more fun.
So that this would fall into that category.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I mean, it's also an easy show to take out of context, and it's also an easy show to get canceled or not work right. So, but
which is what happened to me. I tried 3 times. I tried 3 times to see it and ended up not being able to see it before I had to leave.
Yeah, which isn't great. So, that I don't love. But you see a clean run. There's just some kites in the air. It's got some peppy music. I would say that's fun, but
were you taken aback by their crashing into the bleachers? I mean, like that's the intended design.
No, because I think it was pretty clear that was the intention. I mean, it's
really.
Yeah, because when I was there, they had a whole team standing there. They put padding on the seats. So, I mean, at first you're like, huh? And then you go like, oh, okay, that's the plan. And then you move on. I mean, that's not where you're supposed to be looking.
But it just feels like bad show.
It does. I don't love that, but I wouldn't doesn't ruin the show for me.
No. I agree. It doesn't. It doesn't ruin the show. I'm just surprised that element of design was allowed to move forward. It's atypical.
Yeah, I think this was a show that, you got to remember this was happening at the same time as entertainment's running on fumes, and they're starting a new fireworks show at Epcot, and I feel like this one maybe went a little too under the radar.
I want more layering. That's what when I haven't seen it in person yet. So this is purely based on video, but I wanted more layering when I saw it because I liked that they had a few people in the seats, like walking around. So you had that layer of entertainment, like very close to you. And then you have the entertainment that's way out on the lake with the big balloons. And I just felt like I wanted one more, maybe like a layer of barges or something like kind of like in between you and like the big stuff. Because it just felt like it feels too empty. I understand they're jet skis, they need a lot of room, but I just felt like it's too few things happening out there. I want it to have a little bit more layering of the canvas in front of me.
Well, and I think that's what, I felt like that's what they were using the stuff that was in the stadium for.
But there needs to be an additional. It wasn't enough. It felt like I need one more layer. That's just me.
Yeah,
did you get to see Harmonious?
I say I like it. It does. There's gradations of I like it. It's pretty clear that this is not meant to be, the highlight of your day at Disney's Animal Kingdom. This is not Rivers of Light. It's not that scale. So
yeah. Okay. Well, Doobie and I will be chatting this weekend about our trip, and I have lots of thoughts about my experiences with the 50th. So I got to see Harmonious, I got to see Enchantment, I got to visit a lot of the resorts, see some of the resort hotel stuff that's happening because of the 50th. So I'm eager to talk about it. I'm trying not to talk about it now because we all have to get back to work. But yeah, so fun. Yeah, I agree. Team jet skis. But then again, I was a fan of Mistake on the Lake. So.
Well, yeah, it comes across as very Mistake on the Lakey. I mean, lower budget, but no one died.
It's Cleveland.
OHIO.
What were you saying, Kyle?
Oh, I was just making the same joke as Rebecca. Like it was Cleveland.
Very good. Very good.
But Becca and Rebecca, you'll be back
very soon.
Very soon. I should let you go. Anyway, thanks for joining Inside LP. We'll be back again soon with another exciting installment of
soon in like 3 months. You know.
And in just a couple of hours, Becca and I will be discussing a lot of Disney merchandise on Barely Necessities right here on the Laughing Place channel. So many items have been popping up, so we're excited. Got lots to talk about. So we'll see you all then, I hope.
Bye.